Somebody just said, well, your number one seed in odds. It reminded me of a quick story. I think I told it before, but a lot of you are new. Third grade teacher was talking to her class, and they were trying to teach them a couple of things. And what she wanted to do was have kids identify their father's profession and get a spelling index in at the same time. So she called on the first youngster, and she called on Rick. So, Rick, what's your dad do? He said, well, my dad's a baker. B-A-K-E-R. And if he were here, he'd give everybody a cookie. I said, that's really good, Rick. He said, John, what's your father do? He said, well, my dad's a banker. B-A-N-K-E-R. And if he were here, okay, he'd give everybody a nickel. He said, great. He said, Bill, I said, what's your dad do? He said, well, my dad's an electrician. E-L-C-E-C-L E-R. Now, Bill, just take your time, think about it. Okay? He said, Jeff, what's your father do? He said, well, my dad's a bookie. B-O-O-K-I-E. And if he were here, he'd give you 5-2 that Bill ain't never spelling frequently. So odds are relative. I'm very, very blessed that roughly 3 years ago I was asked to, I actually was a sub. I thought I was, it's like that. It's like the old thing. A lot of times, I'm sure Coach Self's gone through this. Somebody will ask you, do you believe in? Somebody will call you. Do you believe in free speech? You think it's a constitutional question. Next thing you know, you're appearing before an audience and the check reads 000. So I was asked to work this camp, and it was an unbelievable time of my life. A lot of things were happening, and I also told this story when it happened that. Timing for almost everything in games, in recruiting, in life, meeting your significant other, all those things, everything's about timing. And I do, again, I've said this to some of the older people here that have been here for 3 years. I think the most significant story, so you can understand timing, is this, that the policeman was driving around Lover's Lane, and he looked in the back and there was a light on in the car. Drove to the back of Lover's Lane, and there was a girl in the front seat sitting, knitting, and in the back seat there was a kid in there, a young man reading the newspaper. The dome light was on. So the policeman got out of the car, got up, and knocked on the back window. The young man rolled down the window. He said, son, he said, how old are you? He said, officer, I'm 20 years old. He said, how old is the young lady in the front? He said, well, in 15 minutes, she'll be 18. Life really is all about timing. And I know, y'all have really gotten after me about my age, and we have I've got some other people that we get all the discounts and the better parking spaces, and I know that pisses you off. But I just want to tell you how I've grown. About 2 weeks ago, I had an opportunity to go back to our home in North Carolina. It was actually a nice day. And I went out, we live on a waterway, and I actually went out and I was fishing off the bank. And I was casting and not catching anything, casting and not catching anything. And all of a sudden I heard a voice. And the voice said, pick me up. And I'll be damned, I looked around and looked around, I didn't see anything. Again, as you get older, you do hear voices, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I thought it was just one of those moments, and so I kept casting. I heard a little bit louder, pick me up, pick me up. And I looked down in the waterway, and right there on the lily pad was a frog. And I looked at that frog, there was nobody else around. I said, are you talking to me? The frog looked up and said, I sure am. I said, holy cow. The frog looked at me and said, I got to tell you something now, right now. he said, or she said, if you pick me up and kiss me, I will turn into the most beautiful woman you've ever been with in your life, and I will give you sexual favors you never even thought possible. I said, excuse me? I'm not going to lie to you, I never heard that said to me. So that frog looked right up at me and said, if you pick me up and kiss me, I'll be the most beautiful woman you've ever been with. And you will have unbelievable lovemaking opportunities with me. Reached down, I picked up that frog, put that frog right in my shirt pocket. And all of a sudden that frog looked up at me and said, do you understand what I just said to you? You understand that if you kiss me, I will be a beautiful woman and you can have your way with me. I looked down at that frog and I said, let me just tell you this, okay? At my age, I'd rather have a talking frog. Yeah, I am old, yeah. In all seriousness, that's possible. If that's possible, it's true. This is the first year I've been here where there's been a 14 format. I think it's really interesting, and I think it kind of ratchets up with the competition.